Hi there. Welcome to STEM in 10. This is a production of BASE, the Broward area STEM ecosystem, and we're here with you every Friday, give you a quick 10-minute of what's going on in the local community in technology. And today we have our regulars. Dr. Lisa, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. It's a nice, cloudy, rainy, almost going to pour day, but my car got nature's car wash today, so
there we go.
all good.
It was. I got a severe thunderstorm warning just popped up on my screen a little bit ago. How are you doing today, Miss Denise?
Bring the rain. Cool it down.
That's right. Yeah.
Cool it down. My car was at 110 like yesterday in the sun.
Yeah.
I burnt myself like touching like the handlebar. It was like, what?
Yeah. It's craziness. It is craziness. Dr. Lisa, we've got some new stuff for BASE that you've got this week. By the way, everybody, here's the BASE website. There's your logo. Just click on that QR code. You can go subscribe, go follow on the site itself. But you have this really cool new site that's up.
Yeah, this is from the Broward schools, and they're doing a Broward Powered by AI website out there because Broward Schools is powered by AI. And to help parents understand what that really means, we've been doing a series of family forums. So for this site, you'll be able to watch those family forums if you missed the first two. The second one was just last night. The first one was about what is and what is not AI. And last night, we were able to talk about kind of AI literacy for elementary school. And then what the product we're using, Magic Student, which kind of is a guided closed system for students to start to learn to use AI in their learning. So how that's going to be rolling out across the district.
And this, Denise, you tie into this one every week for us about AI stuff. But this part here on of what's going on with who can use AI, what can AI do, who's using it for training, which I thought was a really great little piece here. And you were going on. Last week, we started this conversation. I wanted to finish it up this week if we can. You were talking about the trust and verify portion of stuff. And Dr. Lisa, where is that portion for the students on here?
Well, I'm about to post it actually as soon as I get off this call. Okay. I'm going to send the family guide to what we talked about yesterday, but I think yesterday's webinar should be on there soon. It's not there yet. And that we talked about at the time talking about, actually, it might be what that is in that link. Yeah, but we spend the time talking about for elementary school students how you can question and to always be a skeptic and to trust and verify continuously. How don't share, teaching our littlest of littles or elementary, kindergarten, first graders how not to share.
Yeah,
we share everything. No, don't share everything. Ask a parent before you share anything. Right. Yeah. So kind of going the opposite way, and then also thinking about how we can have students learn about how to use data and understand how data is used and how we can learn. We learn from data as people, and how then taking that then to how machines learn from data, and what data goes in yields what data comes out.
Mm-hmm. And this section here for all the ethical use by staff. So any parents out there, this is all there. It's in the show notes for you. Don't worry about that. BrowardSchools.ai. And Miss Denise, what about, I guess I'm asking you the question more along the lines of when we were talking about trust and verify.
Yep.
You were talking more about the idea of us as a user doing that.
Yes.
So fill us in on that side of it. What's the age? You've got kids that have been dealing with this. What are the age levels of me? I say everybody needs to deal with it. Everybody needs to learn.
Everybody. But, I mean, if you think about it, so, Denise Mendez, your friendly neighborhood tech engineer, your technical corner, the engineer, your friendly neighborhood engineer, and, also fellow mom of kids in the Broward County Public School System. My kids are in middle school, and, similar to how we do, like when the kids can start writing, they go to the library, they read a story, and then they answer questions about that story. And you know what? Even the true or false or the ABCD options, did this actually happen in the story? Did, Bobby climb up the hill and, find the ladder? I don't know. I just made that up. But, you have to verify, right? And that's what kids are learning this. So it's no different with AI. It's just that AI sounds super like, you're right. AI is a little bit, a bit of a suck up. Denise, that's such a wonderful thing that you just said right there. And it's like, yeah, it tries to kind of like tell you these things. It's highly confident, right? And like this cartoon sends it perfectly, right? Is this mushroom edible? AI says, yes, absolutely, it is. And then you're dead. And AI's like, you're right. This mushroom was poisonous. I'm sorry for the confusion. Would you like to learn more about poisonous mushrooms? It is a very helpful, highly confident. It can totally be wrong. And basically, like, my job has changed in the last like year dramatically with the use of AI. I don't write code as much anymore. I basically have goals and I tell the AI, go do this thing. And then I have to think about how am I going to verify, number one, that it did it, number two, that it's correct, and number three, that it achieved the goal that I wanted it to achieve, right? And similar to like when a parent, when you're telling your kids this, is like, be suspicious. And I know that's terrible as a parent to tell your kid to be suspicious, but we kind of do that already anyways, right? Be suspicious of strangers.
Yeah.
Don't get into somebody's car if they tell you to get into the car. Like, AI is no different. Just because it's on a computer and it seems harmless does not mean that it's not harmless, or like, it could take you down the wrong rabbit hole. And so with your kids, it's always like, where did you get that answer? How did you find that answer?
Yeah.
Show me your sources, right? Do not just like ask a question and take it for, take the response as fact, have it validate, it's trust, but verify. I trust that you might be right, but I'm going to verify that. And ironically, this trust but verify is not a new thing. I worked at Motorola for 15 years and in manufacturing, and the whole motto, the whole entire time, this is the data, but I need to verify. Like, I trust that this data might be right, but it was crafted by humans. The machine might have been wrong when it took the measurements. So it's always trust but verify. We had manufacturing process where in one process, we tested the device. And then in the last process, before we shipped the device out, we would validate using a completely different equipment that the first machine, actually had done its job, right? And this was trust but verify. Like, that's why you have regulations in some places. I trust that you're going to do your job, but just in case you had a bad day, we're just going to gut check you every once in a while, right? And that's life, right? And this is a new life.
Yeah, and I think that that's one of the things people sometimes miss on if they should be using AI for it. Because, Dr. Lisa, you see that a lot in the schools of people just getting an answer and spitting it out using the AI, copy and paste, and you don't have time to verify it. You'd actually be better off write the paper
writing it yourself. Yes.
Because then you don't have to spend the time to craft a prompt and then go research to see if the thing did it right. Just do the research yourself right up front and write it, and you'll be much better off and get a faster, more accurate result.
Exactly. Yeah.
What I do is, in some cases, is I'll write it, without, writing something with grammar and thought and subject and predicate and like pretty and nice words. That's hard, right? But sometimes I will write it and like I used to be so proud of my typing, like not misspelling things. Now it's like I will misspell. I won't double check. Who needs punctuations? Okay, I just want you to take my content and just like what I just gave you and kind of like zhuzh it up a little bit and make it pretty, right? But at least like in that way, it's using, what I gave it. So I know it's not going to make anything up.
Well, you still need to read it.
Oh,
Sometimes it does make things up, even when you give it all the source.
I think I've mentioned, or maybe not here, but I own a pottery studio, and AI, like I try to get it to like make blogs, and it's like creativity is so creative, and it's so creative to be creative creatively. And it's like, okay, that's do way too much use of creative. Can like you get a thesaurus here and like, just kind of like come up with, then it's creative and artistic and, explode into your creativity. And it's like, okay, calm down a little bit, with the creativity and the unleash yourself. Like, it really loves like those phrases sometimes.
Yeah.
And
you know,
it gets
that-
boring. So you gotta
next
change it.
week we're gonna have to get Dr. Lisa to talk about AI and chemistry and things like that, because that's where those applied sciences that it's working a lot. But we're already because we are. It's intense. Like, subscribe, follow along, add your comments to the feed. We'll go back and answer them. We do try to answer your questions offline also, but we can always bring them up on air next week, because we will be here next week. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Yeah.